up in my snow clothes, not because of the amount of snow, because really it's just like a dusting, but because it's very cold out. So I heard a Scandinavian blogger or vlogger. I can't remember if it was in the days of when I read blogs or when I watched vlogs. But she said something that resonated with me. She said there is no such thing as bad weather, just bad clothing choices. And so I've always thought of that. And I had to come outside and do a few chores, and I knew I was going to be out here for probably like 30 minutes. And I thought, I'm going to dress appropriately because it is, I don't know if it's even 20 degrees Fahrenheit, but worse than that, it's windy, which makes it feel so much more cold. So yeah, just getting some stuff done outside, and then I'm gonna head back in. It's still too cold for me to put up our outdoor Christmas lights and greenery. That'll have to be on a day that's at least maybe sunny, hopefully a tad bit warmer. You can do it, Minnie. Come on. Come on. Okay, so day 2 of Vlogmas, December 2nd, 2024. I am sitting down to talk with you guys for a little bit, just about some Christmassy things. I have a puppy she's not actually a puppy. She's a geriatric dog. She's going to be 17 in April of next year. So she's like 16 and a half. And she is not feeling well today. So I have her back here on my chair, snuggled up, and this was my very first Afghan I ever made. This was back whenever I was pregnant with Ian and I was on bed rest. I went into preterm labor at 21 weeks while I was at work. I left work with cramps and a little bit of bleeding, got to the hospital, and was flat on my back on the couch. No joke. Serious business until I delivered him. Which, praise God, was like 38 weeks. I was on all kinds of medicine. I was at the hospital several. It was a traumatic pregnancy. my second pregnancy with Lily was much less. It was just a normal pregnancy. But while I was on bed rest, a friend of mine introduced me to Afghan crocheting. I had already crocheted a little bit, but not really. I mean, not it wasn't anything that I was really into at the time. I would have been in my early 20s at the time. So somebody had purchased me yarn that I had wanted, and I mean, this is a very Christmassy themed color, but actually back then it was the early 2000s when we built our house, so our house had a lot of forest green and burgundy, and those were the colors that were trending at that time, and that's why I made it. But I have her anyway. I'm not staying on track. I made this while I was on bed rest because I could lay back and crochet. So, but I have Molly wrapped up into it today because she was shivering, and this happens to her every now and then. And when it does, I'm always like, is this the end? And then she rallies through it. So, but she, like I said, she's 16 and a half. So she's an old dog. She has lived a long, good life, but she's going to hang out with us back there. I just came in from outside. I had to do some things out there, and I came in and I made myself my Christmas in Paris tea that I drink every Christmas. I just sweetened it with a little bit of honey. We are blessed. We have a neighbor who has hives, and so I've been able to get my honey off of him all fall. We go through a lot of honey because Lily and I drink tea a lot this time of year, and we sweeten with honey, and then I also bake with honey. And when I make my dressings and marinades and stuff, I use honey in it I try not to use, I really don't use processed sugars. I use either honey or maple syrup. So we go through it quickly. And I want to show you a little bit about my projects. I actually finished this pair of socks, so that's exciting. I have them all done. And I will not block these. I don't block socks unless they're lace socks and I'm giving them away to somebody. I do not block socks. But these are a gift for someone for Christmas, and so they're done. I'm excited about that. So I have one pair of Christmas socks that I need to finish yet, and I will have my planned gift knitting done. Although I do have some ideas, but I have so many ideas. So I'm going to have to prioritize my ideas because I'm just never going to get it all done. And then I wanted to show you my progress on my Piper's Journey shawl because it is almost finished. I have just a little bit left of the applied border. So you can see this is the remainder that I need to do. The applied border is like the chart for it is a 12 row repeat. So when I sit down to work on this, I try to do at least one 12 row repeat. And that way I can find where I am in the lace pattern, but it's just easier to keep track of it that way. And honestly, I usually end up doing like 3 or 4 repeats. So yeah, almost done with that. And then I have my woolens and nosh. I'm behind because I did not know, this is my first time doing a sock advent kit, and I wasn't really sure how to do it. And I said a little bit too much on my last podcast episode, and I said to look away, but I should have put a timestamp. So if anybody saw something or heard something that they didn't want to, I know someone did and I felt horrible. I'm really sorry about that. So I'm going to be super careful about what I show with this. I tried to go back and add a timestamp after I had already uploaded my video, but I couldn't do that. I would have had to do that in my editing software. I got onto like YouTube's editing place and I couldn't see where I could add a timestamp or like text to my video to say, hey, don't come back here until this time. So what I ended up doing is one of you viewers told me that the owner of Woolens and Nosh had put a video up on YouTube regarding the sock advent and giving some pointers and tips. And so I actually watched that this morning. I watched a portion of it and it was really helpful, and it kind of cemented in my mind what I'm going to do. So, but I was going to do the cuffs, heels, and toes in the contrast color, but she actually suggested that because it is such a large amount for each sock, like it's going to end up being a 14-inch long sock, she suggested only using the contrasting mini skein for the heel. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. And then because I'm typically a heel down knitter, but I wasn't sure how to figure that out because, I'm sorry, not a heel down, a top down knitter. I wasn't sure how to calculate how much of like the leg portion to do before I started the heel and then the foot, because I don't know if this makes sense to you, but I was like, if I would start at the toe and knit up, then I would get a better grip on it, because I would just knit to the length of my foot and then do my heel, and then I could just use the rest of the yarn up for the leg and I would get all 24 stripes in. But it would be harder to do that working top down. And then a couple of you suggested just doing a tube, so casting on from either end, knitting a tube and doing an afterthought heel. I've never done an afterthought heel. I actually talked about this recently, but I thought, well, this is a great time to learn because I want to try one. I thought I want to try one, and this would be great because I literally can just knit the stripes and not worry about putting the heel in, which is I feel like the finicky part of knitting a sock. I always do a heel flap and gusset. And so I will learn a different heel now because I'm going to do an afterthought heel. And I am behind. I am going to show this because it's like, I hardly have anything. I just have my cast on. And it's day 2. So this is all I got. This is it. I'm not going to try to get this all done by Christmas. That's not an important thing to me. I wasn't even sure that I was going to knit it this month. So whatever I get done on that will be perfectly fine to me. I realized this morning that I haven't switched my calendar from November to December yet. Hold on one second. Okay. Lily poked her head out her bedroom. So my friend Danielle bought me this calendar for my Christmas gift last year, and it is by Robin Piterse. Let me just show you the back because I'm probably mispronouncing that. But it is absolutely gorgeous, and it's done on really nice paper, and it's like thicker paper and it's matte paper, which is great because, you know, glossy paper I don't like. It smears, the pen smears and everything. But I had it on November, and yesterday we were gone for the majority of the day. So I realized, oh my gosh, I forgot to flip my calendar. So I haven't flipped it yet. I haven't looked at it. So I thought we'll flip that over to December together. Oh, it's the one that's on the front of the calendar. Is that? So yeah. The only thing about this calendar that kind of messed with my head a little bit is that it has the weeks beginning on Monday rather than Sunday. And so I would look at the calendar and I would be like, what? I'd be confused. I am fairly certain, no, I'm almost 100% sure that she changed that this year, and she has her weeks starting on Sunday instead of Monday. I did end up purchasing this calendar for myself to have for next year because it is so pretty. And then what you can do is just, because these are printed so nicely and on such nice paper, I thought I could just cut these and use them in a frame for the different seasons. I just need to find a frame that will work. I have to measure that and see if I can find a frame that I can fit this in. So we're going to hang the calendar back up with the month of December now, since it is December 2nd. And then another thing I just wanted to show you guys real quickly, and I plan on talking about this book more during Advent, but it's a book that I just ordered. I've actually had it on my wish list since last Christmas or shortly after. I can't remember. I think I found it during the month of December last year, but I put it on my wish list. I didn't purchase it. And I think, did it go on? I think it was on sale for Black Friday. I don't know. I got it for $14. It's a hardcover book too, so it was worth it for me. But it is a beautiful book called Winter Celebrations. And this is by Aruna Kunorja. She is the founder of Bookhoo, I think is how you pronounce that. So I was really excited to see that this went on, the price decreased. It's basically a book full of handmade Christmas ornaments and decor. And I plan on Lily and I, doing some things out of here this Christmas. Excuse me while I take a sip. My throat's dry. The furnace, we have forced air heat, and so all winter long I struggle with just the dryness. So anyway, yeah, it's a beautiful book. Actually, have not looked through it the whole way. I am just looking at it now, but I want to talk about it more in depth at some point. But I'm really looking forward. Can't see what I'm showing you. I'm really looking forward to doing some of these Christmas, I don't want to say the word crafts, but handicrafts maybe, because Lily and I have already been doing some things, but I love to find inspiration in books. I'm a book collector for sure. I'm a big reader. And when I can find a beautiful book, and again, this is like beautiful paper. Yeah. There are sewing projects in here. There are paper projects. There's some leather crafts. What else do we have? Some indigo dyeing, stocking, just all kinds of stuff. I will share this with you more throughout the season, okay? But I just wanted to mention this to you all. And I think that's it for the little chatter part right now. I'm going to go drink my tea, and I've gotten a lot done this morning. I had a lot of housework, laundry. Monday's my big laundry day, and I also had a lot of phone calls to make. I still have a couple more. I'm not a big fan of having to make phone calls, but they need to be done. So, and my dad actually just texted me that he needs some help. My husband doesn't really hunt, but first day of buck was on Saturday. And Brad does not know, really no one in our family, like us here, hunts. Sergey does, but he didn't hunt this year. But my dad actually, his friend got a deer, and he doesn't need all the meat. So we're going to take some of the meat, but I think he needs some help. So I'm going to have to go down, and which is fine. I told him yesterday that I would be more than happy to help, because they're going to give me like all of that meat, and so that'll fill our freezer, so that'll be wonderful. But I'm going to wrap it up now, and thank you guys for joining me again today on this very frigid day here in Western Pennsylvania.